Okay, so I'm doing a video on the Kandi Cowboy and also the Kandi Innovator. That's the dump bed actuator. This is the unit out of the machine. So I've got it rigged up so I can test it. Oh, wrong way round. So you have to reverse the polarity. Ah, it stopped working. It was working. Well, that's interesting. Was working and now it's stopped. Oh, you can hear it clicking. There it goes. So that could be the two micro switches. So there's a micro switch here and a micro switch here for the limit up and down, and they each have a diode. So the diode, there you go, it's stopped. And then we can turn it around. Yep. Yeah, okay. That's going to be one of the bearings. So I put that to one side. I'll deal with you later. This is another one a customer sent me, which I've taken the threaded rod out, and there's two bearings at the bottom on the shaft. This one sees solid, this one's really quite grindy. So I've ordered two new bearings and they should be here today. And then what you have is the cap here. The cap sits on the bottom. So what I've done is I've drilled a weep hole in the bottom, because obviously the water goes down, sits on the bearings and rusts them out. And then I've also added another little weep hole here, because just inside here is where the motor brushes are, and I changed the spring to a stainless steel spring, so hopefully they won't rust out as easily. But that's basically what I do. What I'll do a video next of me dismantling that one that's making a horrible noise and trying to figure out what's causing it, and then show you what to do to fix it. Okay, part one of stripping down a Cowboy stroke Innovator dump bed actuator. 4 screws at the bottom. The bearing looks like it's got a lot of grease in it, which is good. Okay, so just those 4 screws out of the way, and then this is the motor. Two long screws, and then you have a cap that comes off, and there is a tension spring that just holds against the bearing. Hold the centre and lift off. Okay. Yep, as you can see there's rust in the bottom. Common. The brushes look alright. Okay. But it's making a horrible noise. So should be able to just push that out. There we go. Oh, and there's the problem. The first bearing, the top bearing, sees solid. That's pretty common. So you just unwind it. Oh my. So I need to replace the brushes on this for stainless steel, because they will rust out. Just unscrew this. It's lubricated, which is nice. See a lot of them that aren't. and there's your basically your corkscrew out. But as you can see, this bearing doesn't turn. So we have a bearing at the top, this guy here, and this bearing here. This bearing comes off this way and this bearing comes off that way. Now it's plastic, so you have to gently leverage it off and spray it with some like WD-40 or something just to try and release it. There's a small washer and a lot of grease. Oh. So there's the other bearing. It has a plastic housing around it, obviously to try and either protect it or whatever it does, I'm not quite sure. But so these bearings have got to come off. This one's good. It's not bad, but it might as well replace it. So I will let this soak and then I will carry on with the video. So I have the what's going on there? I have the bearings off. Two different size bearings. One has this plastic cover, just comes off. You see how rusty they are? And this one is solid, it doesn't move. So what I found is it's best to just put this in the freezer to make the plastic a little bit smaller. That allows the bearings to go on without cracking the plastic. But the easiest way I've found to do it now is you just get a screwdriver and you gently, bit by bit, turn and leverage off the bearing. I haven't found an easier way to get it off without damaging this plastic gear assembly, which is basically one-time fit on this shaft, so you can't replace that if the gears are stripped. But the gears look okay. So now get some new bearings, put it back together, and then we'll start on doing the motor brush springs and lubing this up, and hopefully you'll understand what's going on. So to remove the armature, you'll see the brushes. Ugh, grease everywhere. You just get a little screwdriver and pull the brushes back, and there's a little notch, I don't know if you can see it, a little tiny notch, and the wire from the brush goes round it, and then that should allow you to gently pull that out, and there's your armature. So the armature on this is actually very clean. It's in good shape, it's hardly been used. So I would say this bed actuator had water in it for quite some time, not being used, and it just literally seized up. So there's the armature out, and there are your two brushes for the armature, just pulled back. Inside this tube here, just in this side bit here, you undo that screw there, and there's a screw there. This will slide out, and there's a board that runs up inside here, and you have a micro switch there, a micro switch there, with a diode on each side. Well, I've seen the diodes blow, so a lot of times it's just easier to replace the diodes, but you can, it's entirely up to you. As long as the motor goes up and down, the diodes are good, but if you're only getting one direction, you could have a bad diode. So after freezing the rod, we can put the bearings back on. There you go. Actually slides on better than I thought it would. So that's the two bearings on. That one runs smooth, that one runs smooth, and we'll just put some grease on it. bit on the shaft. Okay. So here we go. Just try and and it just screws back inside. And yep, see, the arm just moves up. So I'm going to add some grease to the gearing. Make sure that should be good. Yeah. And then that should just slot back in there. Okay, so now we've got the rod back in its hole. I'm going to add some grease to that in a minute. So what we need to do now is the brush springs. So there's the little notches which hold the wire. That releases the brush. Take the brush out. Oh yeah, that spring's started to rust. So there's the old spring. Put the new spring in. Put the brush in the same way. And lock that in place. That's that one. And the next one. That pops out. Take the spring out. It's no good. New stainless steel spring. Sorry, you can't probably see with me doing this, but it's a bit fiddly. Fiddly. There we go. Then you just put the wire over that. So there's the new springs. I'm just going to put some grease on the end of this. So here's your armature. That should just go back in. Just gently roll it in, make sure it sits in the middle. Yep, that's good. Hold it down, pull up the wire, that's the two brushes now on the armature. This has a little groove in it, and the groove matches up with a little groove on here. Goes in that way. So, oh sorry, the groove is there and the groove is there. So you have to put your finger on the armature because it's going to want to lift, and just rotate that until it locks in place. There we go. Alright. Then there's a washer, which is a sprung loaded washer. I just put some grease in the cap so that that washer doesn't fall out because it's a pain. Okay, and then put your cap back on. There we go. Line up your, so the magnets want to take the screws all the time, but it's just a case of feeling where they are. Got that back together, and we're just going to add some grease in the bottom just to be on the safe side. I've got to drill a hole in the bottom of this because that's a weep hole for the water to come out, so I'll go and put that on the lathe and just drill a hole in it. And then I also drill a hole just about there because that's at the bottom of the motor housing, and it allows the water to drip out and not sit inside the housing itself. Doesn't make it waterproof obviously, but at least the water can drain out rather than sit in there and just burn up your bearings. So as you can see, I've drilled a hole right through the center, so any water that sits in the bearing hole will come out. I'm just going to put a bit of grease in here just to hold this. There's a washer here. Yeah. Just a bit of grease on there, hold it in place. And we go that way around. And that's it. So that's the bottom on. 4 screws. Okay, so now it's all back together. Question is, does it work like it should? There. Thread. Oh, quiet as a mouse. Super quiet. All the way in, and it will eventually stop. There's the limit switch, so just turn it around and oh,